So, in this episode, I want to talk about video and ways to make it easier for you and for me. And I have a special guest. Lou Bortone is here to tell us some video secrets. So, let's jump in.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
So Lou has 12 incredible video secrets to share with us today. But before I jump in with the interview, I want to tell you about two things. First, he's got a video planner that I will link to in the show notes that you can get for free, coursecreatorshq.com/149. And then we also did not have time to talk about his new Discovering Descript course. So we talk about Descript and how easy it is to use. But if you want to be a super ninja at using Descript, be sure and check out his course. I put the link in the show notes. And depending on when you're listening to this, you may still be able to jump in and get his secrets on how to use Descript really, really well. It's a way to edit your videos using text, plus a whole bunch of other things. Instead of having to edit the wave of a video, you can use the actual transcript and the text and edit it. That's my favorite feature. But in case you want to find out more, that link is in the show notes too. Okay, so let's jump in, grab your notebook, because Lou has some really good ideas for us to make our videos even better. Hey gang, so I'm so excited to have you here today because I've got an incredible guest for us. Lou Bortone is a wonderful, wonderful teacher of video, and you all have heard me complain about doing video so many times that Lou's here. He's going to help us figure out ways to make this easier and make video easier. And as we go, Lou, weave in your story of how you got to this place of working on this, because I'd love to hear that too. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Julie. Glad to be here.
So what would you recommend for everybody who's like me that does not love doing video? Mm-hmm. What are some things we can do?
I know it's funny because I don't really like being on camera, which I guess is kind of ironic for somebody who does online video and video marketing. But when I worked in the TV business, I was always behind the scenes and never on camera and just did marketing and branding. So I am, introvert. I don't particularly like being on camera. But again, the return on time and investment is just so great that I can't not do it. And if there's one thing I could, kind of leave your folks with, it's that it's not that difficult and the rewards are great once you kind of get into it and you see the awareness and exposure and leads and conversions and all the cool things that video does for you. So it's worth the effort, and it's worth a little bit of fear at the beginning.
All right, good deal. And I know you're right, because there's a good connection with people who can actually see you that's different than when they can just hear you. So what are some of your secrets? Where did you used to work? You said you used to work in TV.
And I started in radio, and then because I have a face for radio, and I worked in Los Angeles for many years at E Entertainment Television, and then at a division of Fox Kids. So just all kinds of in the entertainment business, doing marketing and branding. So I kind of knew, like the power of the medium and video and all that kind of stuff. But, back in the day, that when we were little, there were just a few, channels, and now it's completely saturated. But the cool thing is that with YouTube and Vimeo and all the, Facebook Live, we have the same access to a global audience that only a few networks had 30, 40 years ago.
It's true. That's such a good point. I forget that sometimes. Like, I was around for that too, but I forget like how different it really is.
Yeah. So it's really cool because now we have the same access to a worldwide audience by basically just turning on a computer or checking our phone, and we can go live to Facebook, we can go live to LinkedIn, we can go live to YouTube, or not even live. I mean, you can pre-record things, and it's just a very flexible medium.
So if we were thinking about where to start for somebody who, let's say, has not done
Yeah.
much video at all,
Right.
where would you have us start?
Yeah. I think that the low hanging fruit and the easiest way to do video is like Facebook Live. That's just my opinion because it's less formal. People are not expecting, bells and whistles and, great effects or anything. It's just Facebook Live. It's like a come as you are party. So I like to encourage people to just start with that or test it. And you can even just go live into one of your groups if you're not ready to go sort of public. So that's a really good way to start. But the other thing that I think people forget is that you can take a lot of your existing content and repurpose it for video. So if you have
Oh.
blog posts and articles, you can turn them into videos. If you have a podcast like this and it's just audio, you can do a video version. So you probably already have the content. It's just a matter of using it in a little bit of a different way.
Oh, okay. Now you have me intrigued because I have tons of podcast episodes.
Yeah.
How would we do that? How does that work? Or do you
Yeah,
teach us?
it's really pretty simple. I turned a lot of audio only podcasts into videos, and I use relatively new software called Descript.com. And I know we talked about this before we started it, but I just import the audio into Descript.com, and then I add like a slide or a graphic, and it makes it sound good, it makes it look good, and I can export it as a video. I can even put captions on it, so I can put it on LinkedIn with the words. So everything that we're saying in the audio podcast, the viewers are seeing the captions, the viewers are seeing the images. So we've basically, doubled the use of that audio because now we can put it on YouTube, which, by the way, is now the number one platform for podcasting, which is crazy.
YouTube, huh? Oh, and I don't think I have any of my podcast episodes on there. So I do want to explore this just real
Mm-hmm.
quickly because I noticed that YouTube announced they're like pushing podcasts now.
Yeah.
So how do you think if folks are like me, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have video
Yeah.
podcasts, should we just use the Descript? How's that performing as far as like it's not a video
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah,
is, but
but
it isn't,
it's not like a traditional video, but YouTube is putting so much behind their podcast and also their YouTube Shorts, which are like the under 60-second videos like TikTok. But now there's a special tab for podcasts, and I resisted the urge for years to do a podcast. And when I heard the statistic, like, okay, YouTube just overtook Spotify and Amazon and iTunes and is now the biggest platform for podcasts, and that's when I decided to start doing a podcast. So again, it's relatively easy to make the jump from audio to video, and you don't even necessarily still have to be on camera because you can use slides and captions and images, and they perform pretty well. I mean, I'm surprised because podcasting is such an on-the-go medium, but so many people are watching YouTube that they're now watching their podcasts on there.
So and I hope they figure this out at one point. I'd love to
Mm-hmm.
see some stats on this. Like if people are just letting it play in the background, so they're not
Yeah,
necessarily watching it,
right.
and
Yeah,
then you
that's
don't
that's
need fancy video, right?
no, you really don't. And that's the funny thing is that like I think now, and I look to my 24-year-old twins, for them, a screen is a screen is a screen. It's like they watch YouTube on a big television, but they also watch other stuff on their phone. And, so they're just constantly consuming content. So they might be listening to a podcast on their iPhone, or they might be watching it on YouTube, and it's just kind of on in the background and they're listening to it.
Yeah. Okay. So we definitely need to at least do that, at least do
Mm-hmm.
the audio and turn it into video, we can also take Facebook Lives, right? And turn
Yeah,
those
absolutely. You can
into YouTube
You can,
videos.
after you've done your Facebook Live, you can download it and upload it to YouTube or turn it into a podcast or anything you want, which is relatively easy. I mean, once you've got the video out there, and I know a lot of folks like us record their podcasts on Zoom, it's like, well, turn on the camera and do a little interview, and now you've got a video version.
Yeah, that's super easy. So I
Mhm.
love that. Um, do you have any tips for YouTube?
Mhm.
Like essentials that we should know about?
I mean, it's good to have a YouTube presence, but you really have to kind of stick with it and be consistent because
Mm.
until you have, over 100 subscribers, sort of the minimum, YouTube doesn't really pay much attention to you until you have those first 100 subscribers. But once you've got that, again, you can use YouTube as sort of your host and keep your videos there. You can share them from YouTube to wherever you want. You can give the link out, or you can put it in an email. You can send it back to Facebook or LinkedIn. So it's a good hub to have, and it's a good place to sort of be your central place for videos. And a little bit of, YouTube effort goes a long way. It's just that you have to really kind of stick with it. You can't kind of upload 3 videos and then leave it alone for 3 months.
Yeah, that consistency thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a certain length of video that you think is better or is more likely to perform, or does it really
Yeah.
matter? Just do content.
It really depends, because YouTube Shorts are really popular right now, and YouTube is giving them a lot of attention. So those are under 60 seconds. So if you're doing Instagram Reels or TikToks or any kind of portrait iPhone kind of video or Android video, you could put them on YouTube. And if it's under 60 seconds, YouTube will put it as a YouTube short. So those are getting a ton of play right now. But YouTube says that the sweet spot is between like 3 and 8 minutes.
Oh,
So you have some
really?
flexibility
Okay.
there. And of course,
Yeah.
YouTube's going to say they want you, they're going to say longer because they want you to stay on their platform longer. But I think a
Right.
combination, like if you do some YouTube shorts, quick tips under 60 seconds, and then maybe you've got, an explainer video or how-to video that's 5 minutes, nice combination of different lengths. But if you ask YouTube, they'll tell you 3 to 8 minutes.
Okay. That's
Mhm.
excellent. That seems like nothing. I think I could
Yeah, that's
crank
not too
that out
bad.
in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do
Uh,
a lot of like batch recording. Like I don't record videos every day. I just can't, I don't have time for that. But I'll do, on a Sunday afternoon, I might say, oh my God, it's quiet for a change. The dogs are napping and not barking. I'm going to do 3 or 4 videos, and then I can schedule them on YouTube and drip them out over, once a week or so.
Oh, there you go.
Hmm.
So, do you have some courses if we wanted to dig in deeper on some of these things?
I do. I have all kinds of fun stuff. I have a master class on video. I've got a couple of courses that I do around YouTube and Facebook Live and all kinds of goodies. And I will give you a link for that, so
Awesome.
you can share
Awesome.
it with folks. And I do another, I guess you'd call it a membership, but it's kind of a mastermind called Fast Forward. And those folks basically kind of get everything that I produce. They get it first, and they get it, as part of their membership. So that's another good way to kind of stay connected to the video world, because things move really, really quickly. And I always joke like, okay, I buy all the software and I test it so you don't have to, but I mostly just like buying all the software and trying new things.
So, Descript, you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, Descript, and it's kind of got, that AI aspect, because it will, really improve your sound and your images. And again, you can, it'll give you a transcript, it'll give you an audio, it'll give you a video. And you can even record your own voice. And then once it knows your voice, you can put in text and it will read it in your voice. So that's sort of the AI piece of it.
Oh, wow. So, you don't even have to fix when there's issues. That's
Yeah,
kind of
so it's
cool.
really cool, because if you have, like, let's say you have a blog post or an article, and you've trained Descript on your voice, which means basically you've given them 10 or 15 minutes of audio, you can put that article into Descript and say, okay, read it in my voice, and it will narrate it for you in your own voice. And
Wow.
it's
Oh,
kind of
my
scary
goodness.
how accurate it is. It won't let you do other voices, because it's like, no, I can't, put Julie's voice and pretend that I'm Julie, but it will let you do your own voice.
Okay. Okay. Well, and the editing side of it was one of the
Hmm.
things that I was intrigued by too, because I know I've used the video editors with the
Yeah,
waves on
yeah,
and you're like trying to get the right exact place
yeah,
to cut, and
yeah.
it's better, right?
Oh yeah, because I've been using like traditional editing, like Final Cut Pro, for 20 years. And now the big thing with the script, and I think the thing that people are like, oh my God, I can't believe how easy this is. You edit the text and not the timeline. So if you take out a line in the Word doc, it will take it out of the video at the same time.
Oh my gosh, that is so huge.
Hmm.
Because I know I have a lot of course creators who are trying
Yeah.
to get their videos together for their
Hmm.
courses and put them together so that they're quick and easier.
Right.
So it sounds like Descript could be a good solution to help
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that.
you could do your modules there, and the other cool thing is, if you have, once you put your audio in, it takes out all the ums and ahs, which is unbelievable because I help a few people with their podcasts, and you don't realize how many times you say so or like, or it takes out all those filler words if you want to take them out.
That's incredible. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. So, okay, I have another question for you. One of
Yeah.
my students asked, and I'm curious what you think about this.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing their course videos, and a lot of them had slides for
Yeah.
most of the lessons. And
Mm-hmm.
they were wondering, should they be on screen
Yeah.
and share the slide with their face
Mm-hmm.
all the time, or some of the time, or
Mm-hmm.
never? Do you have an
Yeah.
opinion?
Yeah, definitely. And that's how I do courses. I mean, I will have a PowerPoint or slides and I'll share them. And I'm typically not on the screen while I'm doing that because I don't want to be on camera. But you should at least come on at the beginning of the module or the beginning of the lesson and the end so that they see your face and they make that connection, that they know that, it's not a robot doing it, that you're actually teaching this. It's like, okay, now I'm going to share my slides. And you can go off screen for that, or you can stay on. But I usually say, I come on at the beginning, I do a little intro, and then I say, now I'm going to share my slides, and then I go to the slides in the PowerPoint.
Yeah. Okay. And I like using Zoom. Do you feel like Zoom is a good way to record?
Yeah, I would say I do like 90% of my videos on Zoom,
Oh,
whether
good.
it's an interview or a podcast like this, or sharing my screen because it's easy to be on screen and then just click share screen and you're showing your slides and you're off and running. And it'll Zoom does a pretty good job of recording everything and giving you the files and that kind of thing. One thing that I learned the hard way is that if you save your videos to the cloud, the quality is not as good as if you save them to your hard drive.
Oh, really? Okay, that's
Mhm.
good to know. That's
So if
good.
you want, your slides to be crystal clear and you want to have a good, good resolution on your video, you want to make sure you save it to your hard drive first.
Well, and I think you can kind of see it. The computer that's sitting back there, I filled
Mhm.
up the hard drive with Zoom coaching calls on
Oh
that
my
one.
God, I have
So
so many Zoom calls. Yeah.
so we might have to like do some moving off onto separate
Yeah.
hard drives and stuff.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, now that we're all using Zoom like pretty much every day, like 10 times a day, it's like, you can do regular videos on Zoom, whether you're interviewing somebody or you're doing a class or you're sharing your slides. It's a great way to record everything.
I love it. Awesome. All right. So I know I could talk to you all day about this, but do you
Yeah.
have like a last suggestion for us or something?
Yeah, I
One
think
more
a lot of
thing?
people procrastinate around video because they think it's going to be really hard. So I also have a freebie that's a video planner that's just a very, easy sort of spreadsheet on, here are the 5 or 6 things to do so that going in what your goal is for that video. Because a lot of folks I don't know what to say, I don't know what I'm promoting, but you have to kind of begin with the end in mind and say, okay, this is what I want my audience to do. This is what I want my viewer to do. And this is how I'm going to get them to do it. So I sort of reverse engineer all my videos that way
Oh.
so that I know, okay, this is the call to action. And then this is the information that leads to the call to action.
Okay. So if we're going to sell our, like, maybe promote a course that we're
Yeah.
doing, we
Mm-hmm.
should start thinking about that and then work backwards. And then do you like to have some teaching in there? Do you
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely.
helpful?
How-to
Okay.
videos are still really, really popular. So I try to kind of, give as much information and teaching as possible. And then, at the end, I'll say for more information, visit my website or subscribe to this channel or whatever, the particular call to action is for that video.
I love it. All
Don't
right.
forget the call to action. You got to tell the viewer what to do next, or they're going to be off at some rabbit hole, it happens to me too. I'm watching, like I go to YouTube to find a specific thing, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, wait a minute, how did I get onto this, Led Zeppelin music video or something?
I know. I just recently started putting YouTube on my TV
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my main family room, and
Hmm.
you wouldn't believe how many different things I got into rabbit holes on there when it was
Yeah.
on the big screen and I could see it. So
Oh, I
yeah.
know. And that's the other thing that people don't realize, that YouTube is kind of like TV now. Like YouTube has more streaming than even Netflix. So people are using YouTube as a way to watch not just videos, but sort of traditional television.
Yeah. Oh, so another good way for us to grab
Absolutely.
potential students and stuff. Oh, this was so good, Lou. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for being here and sharing all your secrets. And I'll be sure and put the links to everything you talked about in the video planner in the show notes. So make sure you grab those. And thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good to talk to you. Thanks.
So I hope you enjoyed this interview with Lou Bortone and that you got some good ideas for your video editing. And make sure you grab his freebie from the link in the show notes for the video planner. Thanks so much for listening. I love being in your earbuds every week, and I appreciate you following, subscribing, all those wonderful things. Have an amazing week, and we'll catch you on the next episode.